This is the examination of the hidden human condition.
You're listening to the Hidden Killers Podcast.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi.
Oh, those Ring cameras. I really wonder how many crimes have been solved or exposed because of Ring cam footage that is out there now. That's what's happening in this story we have right here. A Florida pre-med student brutally stabbed his mother over 70 times. And how do they know? The Ring camera footage. It captured the moment when 21-year-old pre-med student Emmanuel Espinoza concealed a knife behind his back before brutally stabbing his mother, Elvia Espinoza, over 70 times at her front door. The event unfolded as Emmanuel was heading to a family gathering for his grandfather when his mother asked him to stay with her at the residence for 2 hours south of Orlando for the weekend. The disturbing video, timestamped around 2 p.m. on Saturday, shows Emmanuel approaching his mother's home, dressed in casual attire, concealing something in his left hand, which was later revealed to be a knife. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judge disclosed that Emmanuel, listening to Jay-Z and Kanye West's No Church in the Wild on his approach, swiftly attacked his mother the moment she opened the door, stabbing her repeatedly and meticulously in a planned assault. You see, if this happened when I was a child, and if I listened to that music or something, my mom would be like, you can't listen to that. That's inspiring stabbings or something. Where it's like, oh, it's the music that's doing it. Like, no, it's just...
And it's weird. It's almost like a soundtrack to what he wanted to do. That is creepy. Yeah. I would feel real creepy if my song was used like that.
Yeah.
That would just bother me.
Yeah, that would be a little weird. It says he knocked on the door, and his beautiful mother was so excited to see her son. She opened the door, Polk County Sheriff said, as he played the footage during a press briefing. The sheriff said that Espinoza charged into the house and started stabbing his mother the second the door was opened. He added that Espinoza told investigators he knew where to stab his mother for maximum effect because of his biology classes. Glad he paid attention. We have another audio that we're not going to play from the inside of the house where his mom is screaming, according to the police. She's screaming, Manny, 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 and he's not saying a word. He stabbed her in excess of 70 times, Sheriff Judd said. And he was standing in the kitchen, washing himself off and the knife. He wanted to ask his mother for some Neosporin because he got a little cut on his hand, but he noticed that she was dead.
Bizarre.
Espinoza called 911 and confessed to the murders. Well, there'll be no trial there, thankfully. Sheriff Judd further revealed that Emmanuel harbored feelings of anger towards his mother for years, expressing a desire to kill her, which he finally acted upon. Despite his mother's pleas during the attack, Emmanuel remained silent, inflicting more wounds even as she attempted to rise from the floor. Following the gruesome incident, Emmanuel dialed 911 and confessed to dispatchers, leading to his arrest and subsequent charge of first-degree murder. The community was left reeling after the tragedy, particularly as Elvia Espinoza was known as a beloved second-grade teacher at Frostproof Ben Hill Griffin Jr. Elementary School, cherished for her vibrant personality and love of her family. Emmanuel Espinoza made his first court appearance April 7th with bond set at $5,000 for destroying or tampering with evidence. No bond granted for the charge of first-degree murder.
That is so incredibly sad.
Like, what on earth is okay, so you're mad at your mom, and why? What's your reasoning? What happened here? Because everything sounds like, I don't know the woman, but it sounds like she wanted to see you, and she was happy to see you, and she had a good life around town, and people loved and respected her. So what the hell is your deal?
It just sounds like some mental health break. And they said that he had never been treated for mental health issues.
Well, that doesn't mean he didn't have them.
Exactly. So my guess is his defense is going to be some sort of mental health issues.
Yeah.
Because there's no rationale. And it's so chilling. There's a still shot I saw from the Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
Where he went and knocked on the door, rang the doorbell. So I don't know if he didn't have a key to the house or maybe he just forgot it, or maybe he wanted his mom to answer the door. I don't know. But they show his hand, and his hand he's just got a knife. He walked up knowing what he was going to do to his mom. And I just don't understand that. Like, how could you do something like that? And then to be so out of it, it's like, Mom, where do you keep the Neosporin? Oh, shit. I just killed her.
Yeah, I mean, it shows some sort of a psychotic break or something that's going on with someone, or someone that believes some sort of insane like conspiracy theory or something, where some people get into thinking that people are not people or they're possessed or what. I mean, look at like Chad and Lori Daybell, and look at the fucking mommy bloggers, Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrand. They were convinced that their children were possessed by evil spirits. All sorts of horrible shit that people will then use to justify horrible behavior. And it usually involves some sort of nutso extreme belief that started somewhere else that they somehow subscribed to because somehow it spoke to them. I think that's the weird thing about the world we live in today. There's so much normalizing of weird extreme beliefs, and there's community around those sort of things now. And if you have them, you can find other people who do as well. It used to just be like the crazy people just kind of got to go be by themselves. And, you know, they would have issues here and there, but there wasn't a community that would validate insanity. And that,
online, you can find a support group for anything.
Exactly. And it makes me wonder, you know, does that contribute to all of this happening? Is it happening more than it used to, or is it not? Do we just hear about more of these things these days than we used to? Because basically, you know, the craziest shit rises to the top. And when we curated news years ago, you didn't have access to every local newspaper unless the AP picked it up. But a lot of times stories like this just remained local stories. So unless you were in whatever town this happened in, you know, you really wouldn't hear about it.
It's just so incredibly gruesome. And when you think 70 times.
Yeah, that's called a crime of passion.
You count to 70. It takes a few minutes to count to 70.
The force and just do that, like with your arm, like the motion of stabbing 70 times. That's a lot of work. Like that would be hard to do physically because it would just be very difficult. That's rage.
Teacher.
No.
You know, anybody who teaches school, hats off. But second grade, everybody loved her at school.
Yeah, and those kids will have a fun story to tell someday. It's like, oh, how was your child? Like, well, my second grade teacher, who I love, was stabbed 70 times by her son.
Oh, I hope they bring in counseling for those kids in the school.
Yeah, because I'm sure they're not going to directly tell the second graders that she was stabbed 70 times, but God knows it'll get out.
They'll find out eventually.
They will. Brothers and sisters that are older will hear about it, and like, I heard you, and then I'm sure they already know because kids talk. But God, that's just, and then trying to wrap your mind around that, it's in second grade. Oh. Well, there you go. Another horrible human being. But I would like to know more. What was going on here? What was wrong? And why did he not get any sort of help?
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.